Hi guys. I decided I would go ahead and start reading out of Added Upon. I started the other day and gave some, I don't know what they call them. What do they call it? Preface, to the 3rd edition and to the 5th edition. And when this thing was printed, I believe if I'm reading it right, there had been 22 printings, and 1963 was the last one for this book, I believe. Now, maybe there's been more since then, because 63, that was a long time ago. Since this is 2026. 63, 73, 83, 93, 2003, 2013, 2023. That is 60 years plus 3. So 63 years. Did I figure that out right? 73, 83, 93, 2003, 2013, 2023. That's 60 years plus 3. So yeah, 63 years added to the 1963. Anyway, I was looking at this. So the whole first chapter is 29 pages, which I'm not going to do. But I started looking, and it looks like I can go 5.5 pages and stop. Because it says like a Roman numeral number 2 after 5.5 pages. I just looked up and there's a little thing underlined. Just a little sentence. It says, death is simply the losing of... Is that losing? I think it is. Death is simply the losing of our earthly tabernacles for a time. This body, they're calling it a tabernacle. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I think I can do that. These pages are not that big. I will read up until where it says the Roman numeral number 2. And if I can separate it out like that, maybe I can get through it. Because it is, in my mind's eye, it's hard for me to read. Okay, it's different. It's just different, that's all. Oh, what a day. What a day for a daydream. What a day for a daydreaming girl. I don't know. That's probably not the right words. But I am a daydreamer. And my parents, they moved around an awful lot. And I mean an awful lot. I had it all figured out once upon a time, but I don't know now. I just know that it was crazy, and it didn't help. Like if you stay in one place and you make friends and you're there throughout the duration, school is just a different experience than if you're showing up brand new every time you turn around. One of my report cards said I was a daydreamer. I would be staring out the window. But there I am, a kid, put in a brand new school, brand new people every time I turned around. I believe I actually started 1st grade in Virginia. It was probably West Virginia. I'm not sure, but we lived in Virginia for a little bit. One of those two. I have some memories of that place, but not a lot. Anyway. What's my point? Just the fact that I was a daydreamer. I don't know how long we were in Virginia, but I know that it seems to me that I counted up the schools that I went to before I hit high school was 22. That's a hell of a lot of schools. There I am saying a bad word, which really isn't a bad word. It's a place. It's a bad place. And we don't want to go there. Some of us feel like we're already there. And I'm not talking about me right now, but I've been there. Hell is a state of mind, besides probably a place. But, you know, life is what you make it, and we've got to figure out how to make it happier. Now, if you haven't seen that I started and read some of this Added Upon, all I've done is read everything until the actual book starts. And that's what I'm about to start now. So, to recap, it's just a story that kind of puts out there what we believe within the story. So just remember, it's fictional. And what we're going to do, I believe, is we're going to follow some people from the pre-existence to this existence to the next existence and see what happens. My grandma Smith, my dad's mother, gave me this book when I was a teenager. And I know I never read it. I couldn't have read it. I don't know how much it was read before I got it, because it's got some underlining going on in there. Not tons of it, but there's sufficient that it's noteworthy to read it. So anyway, I talked about this book a little while ago, and evidently someone was listening, and he asked me if I would read it. I mean, if I understood what he said, it sounded to me like he wanted me to read this book. So I figured, okay, that's somebody that wants it, and I want to figure it out. So if I can do it in little pieces, then I'll be able to get through it. So, Added Upon, 1898, first copyright. And I don't know how many printings, or if I could even find that out. You know, I went to look up something the other day and forgot what I was doing, and didn't ever finish what I was doing. Let's see. I have to learn how to use a microphone. Come on. How many printings are there of Added Upon? All right, Amazon says, Added Upon, a story of spiritual self-discovery. Then it says, a treasured and historic storytelling from a Mormon perspective on life. Added Upon offers a spiritual, and then it stops. This is 30-day returns, missing printings, show results with printings. How many original copies of the Book of Mormon were printed? Well, that's not this book. What does printing one mean in a book? How many books are currently published? Added Upon, a story by Nephi Anderson. Wow. This story of things past, things present, and things to come has been before the Latter-day Saints. And it stops, but anyway, it's got the price of $39.99. But let's see what else it shows here. Come on, give me some stuff. All editions of this title. It's got soft cover, 97 for $7.99. Hardcover, 57 from US, $170. But up here it's got one new from US, $40.03. First edition, 0. Signed copy, 0. So you can buy it new for $40.03 and pay $16.77 for shipping. And who is that with? Unless it's all from, because it started out from Amazon. ABE Books. So capital A, B-E, capital B, O-O-K-S, all one word. But Added Upon is the name of the book. It's nice that you can get it for new. I mean, new. Well, this one says, who's that, the same people? It's saying a bunch of different things, because other popular editions of the same title, it's got it, there's 15 new for $10.41, 5 used, $9.45. There's the one that I've got right there. Bookcraft, 1912 hardcover. Okay, well, mine is past 1963, but that right there, I'm not showing it very good. Right here, that's what the paper cover looked like, but it's long gone. I got rid of it. And then this is what the hardcover looks like. It's not very big. I just was interested, so it looks to me like it's still in print. So, you do like me and my sister. Of course, I don't know what she does. My sister, Teresa D. But the point is, we look for good deals. That's what I was going to say. And so, as long as the words are the same and you can read it, if you don't have a whole lots of money and you're not going for a first edition or whatever, then maybe you can get it for pretty cheap. I saw $1.70. I don't know about the shipping for that book. But, you know, I also did not look. So I think Amazon's what showed up. And I can remember when I was doing some things with eBay, they had books and they also had used books. So you could get them for a lot cheaper. So it's a thought. Anyway, so members of the church, if you don't know about this book, it might be interesting. Like I said, my grandma gave it to me, and my grandma's long gone. I'm not sure how old she would be, but we'll just put her at 100, somewhere in there. Okay, so Added Upon. Where was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Question mark. When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy. That's in Job 38, verse 4 and verse 7. So, those of you who have been with me for a little while would know that if I'm doing some reading of scripture type things, or this is a book from a Mormon, I'm not sure who he was. But I've read a bunch in preface to this book, so I don't remember. Sometimes I'm just reading and I don't hear what I'm reading. I know his name is Nephi Anderson. And the first copyright was 1898, so it was a while ago. So here we go. The host of heaven, sons and daughters of God, were assembled. The many voices mingling rose and fell in one great murmur, like the rising and falling of waves about to sink to rest. Then all tumult, T-U-M-U-L-T, all tumult ceased, and a perfect silence reigned. "Listen," said one to another by his side, "Father's will is heard." A voice thrilled the multitude. It was clear as a crystal bell, and so distinct that every ear heard, so sweet and so full of music that every heart within its range beat with delight. "And now, children of God," were the words, "ye have arrived at a point in this stage of your development where a change must needs take place. Living as ye have all this time in the presence of God and under the control of the agencies which here exist, ye have grown from children in knowledge to your present condition. God is pleased with you. The most of you and many of you have shown yourselves to be spirits of power, whom it says, whom he will make his future rulers. Ye have been taught many of the laws of light and life, whereby the universe is created and controlled. True, ye have not all advanced alike, or along the same lines. Some have delighted more in the harmonies of music, while others have studied the beauties of God's surrounding works. Each hath found pleasure and profit in something. But there is one line of knowledge that is closed to you all. In your present spiritual state, ye have not come in contact with the grosser materials of existence. Your experiences have been wholly within the compass of spiritual life, and there is a whole world of matter about which ye know nothing. All things have their opposites. Ye have partly a conception of good and evil, but the many branches into which these two principles subdivide cannot be understood by you. Again, ye all have had the hope given you that at some time ye would have the opportunity to become like unto your parents, even to attain to a body of flesh and bones, a tabernacle with which ye may pass on to perfection and inherit that which God inherits. If then ye ever become creators and rulers, ye must first become acquainted with the existence of properties, laws, and organizations of matter other than that which surround you in this estate. Estate is kind of like it must be a sense of being, because they're not mortal yet, they're spirits. To be over all things, ye must have passed through all things, and have had experience with them. It is now the Father's pleasure to grant you this. Ye who continue steadfast, shall be added upon, and be permitted to enter the second estate. And if ye abide in that, ye shall be further increased and enlarged, and be worthy of the third estate, where glory shall be added upon your heads forever and ever. Now I've got to drink something because my throat is giving me trouble. So I made it to the first paragraph of that third page. I don't have water in here, I don't think. It's raining outside. I can hear that. Nope. Okay, no water. And I just saw a brownie. They're called brownie bites. No, I don't need to be eating in front of the camera, and I'm supposed to be reading, so we'll just let it sit over there and make me drool over it. Okay. Even now, out in space, rolls another world with no definite form and void, but God's Spirit is there, moving upon it and organizing the elements. In time, it will be a fit abode for you. And now I stopped in the middle of all that stuff, so you got a picture, just concourses of people, spirit children of the Father and the Mother in heaven. And it's come time for them to be able to come to earth. Okay. So he's talking about even now, out in space, rolls another world with no definite form and void. But God's Spirit is there, moving upon it and organizing the elements. In time, it will be a fit abode for you. The voice ceased. Majesty stood looking out upon the silent multitude. Then glad hearts could contain no more, and the children of God gave a great shout of joy. Songs of praise and gladness came from the mighty throng. That's T-H-R-O-N-G. And its music echoed through the realms of heaven. Then silence fell once more. The voice was heard again. Now how and upon what principles will your salvation, exaltation, and eternal glory be brought about? It has been decided in the councils of eternity, and I will tell you, when the earth is prepared, two will be sent to begin the work of begetting bodies for you. It needs be that a law be given these first parents. This law will be broken, thus bringing sin into the new world. Transgression is followed by punishment. And thus ye, when ye are born into the world, will come in contact with misery, pain, suffering, and death. Ye will have a field for the exercise of justice and mercy. Justice and mercy. Love and hatred. Ye will suffer, but your suffering will be the furnace through which ye will be tested. Ye will die, and your bodies will return to the earth again. Surrounded by earthly influences, ye will sin. Then how can ye return? Then how can ye return to the Father's presence and regain your tabernacles? Excuse me. Hear the plan. Okay, so evidently we're going to hear a plan. One must be sent to the earth with power over death. He will be the Son, the only begotten in the flesh. He must be sinless, yet bear the sins of the world. Being slain, he will satisfy the eternal law of justice. He will go before and bring to pass the resurrection from the dead. He will give unto you another law, obeying which will free you from your personal sins and set you again on the way of eternal life. Thus will your agency still be yours, that ye may act in all things as ye will. A faint murmur ran through the assembly. Then spake the Father, Whom shall I send? One arose, like unto the Father, a majestic form, meek yet noble, the Son. And thus he spoke, Father, here am I, send me. Thy will be done, and the glory be thine forever. Then another arose, erect and proud he stood. His eyes flashed, his lips curled in scorn. Bold in his bearing, brilliant and influential, Lucifer, the son of the morning, spoke, Behold, send me. I will be thy son, and I will redeem all mankind, that not one soul shall be lost, and surely I will do it. Wherefore give me thine honor. Then spoke one, as with authority, Lucifer, thy plan would destroy the agency of man, his most precious gift. It would take away his means of eternal advancement. Your offer cannot be accepted. The Father looked out over the vast throne. Then clearly the words rang out, I will send the first. But the haughty spirit yielded not. His countenance became fiercer in its anger, and as he strode from the assembly, many followed after him. Then went the news abroad throughout heaven of the counsel and the Father's proposed plan of Christ's offer and Lucifer's rebellious actions. The whole celestial realm was agitated, and contention and strife began to wage among the children of God. Let me read that last sentence again. The whole celestial realm was agitated, and contention and strife began to wage among the children of men. Children of God. They're not down here on this earth yet. So anyway, contention and strife began to wage among the children of God. Returning from the council chamber of the celestial glance through the paths of the surrounding gardens came two sons of God. Apparently, the late events had affected them greatly. The assembly had dispersed, and save now and then a fleeting figure, they were alone. They were engaged in earnest conversation. But Brother Sardis, said one, how can you look at it in that light? Lucifer was surely in the wrong. And then how haughty, Haughty, and overbearing he was. I cannot agree with you, Homan. We have a right to think and to act as we please, and I consider Lucifer in the right. Think of this magnificent offer to bring back in glory to Father's presence every one of his children, and that too without condition on their part. Meaning they're all going to come back no matter what they do. That's what it sounds like to me. Think of this magnificent offer to bring back in glory to Father's presence every one of his children, and that too without condition of their part. There! Exclamation point. He and you with him. Talk about your rights to think and act as you please. Have you not that right? Have you not used it freely in refusing to listen to Father's counsel? Do not I exercise it in that I listen and agree with him? But let me tell you, brother, what your reasoning will lead to. I know it. But go on. No, you do not. You do not seem to understand. Perhaps you will explain, said the other haughtily. Haughty, not a word that's in my vocabulary. Brother, be not angry. It is because of my love for you that I speak thus. It is evident that we, in that future world of experience and trial, will retain our agencies to choose between the opposites that will be presented to us. Without that privilege, we should cease to be intelligences and become as inanimate things. How could we be proved without this power? How could we make any progress without it? I grant it all. Then what would Lucifer do? He would save you from the dangers of the world, whether you would or not. He would take away any need of volition or choice on our part. Do what we would, sink as deep into sin as we could, he would save us notwithstanding, without trial, without a purging process, with all our sins upon us. And in this condition, we are expected to go on to perfection and become kings and priests unto God our Father, exercising power and dominion over our fellow creatures. Think of it. Evil would reign triumphant. Celestial order would be changed to chaos. The other said not a word. He could not answer his brother's array of arguments. Dear brother, continued Homan, never before have I received such sorrow as when I saw you follow that rebellious son of the morning. Henceforth, quit his company. I fear for him and his followers. But he has such power over me, Homan. His eloquence seems to hold me, and his arguments certainly convince me. But I must go, and brother, come with me to the assembly which we are to hold. Many will be there from far and near. Will you come? I cannot promise you, Sardis. Perhaps I may call and see what is said and done. Then they parted. Holman went to the gathering of which Sardis had spoken, and as had been intimated, he met many strange faces. Everywhere in the conversation, serious topics seemed to be uppermost. The singing was not as usual. The music, though always sweet, was sadder than ever before, and a discord seemed to have crept into the even flow of life's sweet strain. Holman had no desire to talk. He wandered from group to group with a smile for all. Sardis was in a heated discussion with some kindred spirits, but Holman did not join them. Under the beautiful spread of the trees and by the fountains sat and walked companies of sons and daughters of God. Ah, they were fair to look upon, and Holman wondered at the creations of the Father. No two were alike, yet all bore an impress of the Creator, and each had an individual beauty of his own. Strolling into an arbor of vines, Holman did not observe the fair daughter seated there until he turned to leave, and then he saw her. She seemed absorbed in thought, and her eyes rested on the shifting throngs. It's Throngs, throngs. Okay, a sweet face and a strange one, thought he, as he went up to her and spoke. Sister, what are you thinking about? She turned and looked at him, and then a pleased smile overspread her face. Shall I tell you? Do I beg of you? May I sit here? Okay, a lot has to do with how you read it. Okay, I'm going to go back. He says, shall I tell you? And then this is the other person talking. It says, do, I beg of you. See, I didn't read it like that before. May I sit here? He seated himself opposite. Yes, brother, sit. My thoughts had such a strange ending that I will tell you what they were. I have been sitting here looking at these many faces, both new and old, and studying their varied beauties. But none seems to me to answer for my ideal. So I have been taking a little from each face, putting all together to form another. I had just completed the composition and was looking admiringly at the new form when you came and drove away your picture. Drove away your picture. That I should not have, he said, that I should not have done. No, it was not exactly that. It was so odd. She hesitated and turned away her head. Then she looked up into his face again and said, my dream face, seemed to blend with yours. They looked at each other strangely. Do you often make dream pictures? Asked he. Yes, of late, but I sometimes think I should. But sometimes think I should. Okay. Oh, there's the knot. I knew there was supposed to be a knot somewhere and I didn't see it. Okay, so he is telling her, do you often make dream pictures? Asked he. Yes, of late, but I sometimes think I should not. Why? Because of the many great events that are taking place around us daily, which need our careful thought and consideration. I have been trying to comprehend this great plan of our Father's in regards to us. I have asked Mother many questions, and she has explained, but I cannot fully understand. Only it all seems so wonderful, and our Father is so good and great and wise. But how could he be otherwise, having himself come up through the school of the eternities? Meaning he's already done this. He had to go through it himself to get to where he is. Her words were music to Holman's ears. Her voice was soft and sweet. Yet it is very strange to think that we shall forget all we know, and that our memories will fail to recall this world at all. Yes, it is all strange to us. Yes, it is all strange to us, but it cannot be otherwise. You see, if we knew all about what we really are and what our past has been, mortal experiences would not be the test or the school that Father intends it to be. That is true. But think of being shut out, even in our thoughts, from this world. And then I hear that down on earth there will be much sin and misery, and a power to tempt and lead astray. Oh, if we can but resist it, dear brother, what will this power be? Do you know? I have only my thoughts about it. I know nothing for a certainty, but fear not, something will prompt us to the right, and we have this hope that Father Spirit will not forsake us, and above all, our elder brother has been accepted as an offering for all the sins we may do. He will come to us in purity and with power to loose the bands of death. He will bring to us Father's law, whereby we may overcome the world and its sin. You said the bands of death. What is death? Death is simply the losing of our earthly tabernacles for a time. We shall be separated from them, but the promise is that our elder brother will be given power to raise them up again. With them again united, we shall become even as our parents are now, eternal, perfected, celestialized beings. The last part, I'm going to do it again. With them again united, we shall become even as our parents are now, eternal, perfected, celestialized beings. All right, talking about mother and father. Okay. As they conversed, both faces shone with a soft, beautiful light. The joy within was traced on their countenances, and for some time it was too deep for words. Holman was drawn to this beautiful sister. All were pleasing to his eye, but he was unusually attracted to one who took such pleasure in talking about matters nearest his heart. "I must be going," said she. "May I go with you?" "Come." They wandered silently among the people, then out through the surrounding gardens, listening to the music. Instinctively, they clung to each other, Instinctively, they clung to each other, nor bestowed more than a smile or a word on passing brother or sister. "What do you think of Lucifer and his plan?" asked she. "The talented son of the morning is in danger of being cast out if he persist in his course. As to his plan, it is this: if I cannot rule, I will ruin. And if he rule, it will still be ruin. It seems to me true, and he is gaining power over many. Yes, he has talked with me. He is a bewitching person, but his fascination has something strange about it, which I do not like. I am glad of that." She looked quickly at him, and then they gazed again into each other's eyes. "By what name may I call you?" he asked. "My name is Delsa, Delsa. Will you tell me where you live? May I come and talk with you again? It will give me much pleasure." "Which pleasure will be mutual," said she. They parted at the junction of two paths. Okay, that's where I stop. Pretty cool. Okay, let's see. That brings me to number 2, okay? So let's see how many pages to the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's not very many. Maybe I'll go ahead and do 2, because there's like only 4 pages. "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?" Isaiah 14:12. Okay, if you want to go look that up, that's where it's at. Never before in the experiences of the intelligences of heaven had such dire events been foreshadowed. A crisis was certainly at hand. Lucifer was fast gaining influence among the spirits, and they had their agency to follow whom they would. The revolving spirit had skill in argument, and the light-minded, the discontented, and the rebellious were won over. To be assured eternal glory and power without an effort on their part appealed to them as something to be desired. Yeah, it would be desired, not to have to work for something. To be untrammeled with laws, to be free to act to be free to act at pleasure without jeopardizing their future welfare certainly was an attractive proposition. The pleasure in the body would be of a nature hitherto unknown. Why not be free to enjoy them? Why this curb on the passions and desires? Hail to Lucifer and his plan. We will follow him. He is in the right. Many of the mighty and noble children of God arrayed themselves on the side of Christ, their elder brother, and waged war against Lucifer's pernicious doctrine. One of the foremost among them was Michael. Well, my grandmother has it marked out here, Adam. One of the foremost among them was Michael. He was unceasing in his efforts to bring all under the authority of the Father. The plan which had been proposed and which had been accepted by the majority had been evolved from the wisdom of past eternities. It had exalted worlds before. It had been proved wise and just. It was founded on correct principles. By it only could the spiritual creation go on in its evolution to greater and to higher things. It was the will of the Father, to whom they all owed their existence as progressive spiritual organizations. To bow to him was no humiliation. To honor and obey him was their duty. To follow the firstborn, him whom the Father had chosen as mediator, was no more than a father should request. Any other plan would lead to confusion. Thus reasoned the followers of Christ. Then there were others not valiant in either cause, who stood on neutral ground, without strength of character to come out boldly. They aided neither the right nor the wrong. Weak-minded as they were, they could not be trusted, nor could Lucifer win them over. Meanwhile, the earth, rolling in space, evolved from its chaotic state, and in time became a fit abode for the higher creations of God. Then the crisis came. The edict went forth that for many of the sons and daughters of God, the first estate was about to end, and that the second would be ushered in. Lucifer had now won over many of the host of heaven. These had failed to keep their first estate. Now there would be a separation. A council was convened, and the leading spirits were summoned. All waited for the outcome in silent awe. Then came the decision spoken with heavenly authority. Ye valiant and loyal sons and daughters of God, blessed are ye for your righteousness and your faithfulness to God and his cause. Your reward is that ye shall be permitted to dwell on the new earth, and in tabernacles of flesh continue in the eternal course of progress, as have been marked out and explained to you. Then to the still defiant forms of Lucifer and his adherents, this was said: Lucifer, son of the morning, thou hast withdrawn from the Father many of the children of heaven. They have their agency and have chosen to believe thy lies. They have fallen with thee from before the face of God. Thus hast thou used the power given thee. Thou hast said in thy heart, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will be like the Most High. Thou hast sought to usurp, I don't know this word, USURP, usurp power. Thou hast sought to usurp power, to take a kingdom that does not belong to thee. God holds you all as in the hollow of his hand, yet he has not restrained thine agency. He has been patient and long-suffering with you. Rebellious children of heaven, the Father's bosom heaves with sorrow for you, but justice claims its own. Your punishment is that you be cast out of heaven. Bodies of flesh and bones ye shall not have, but ye shall wander without tabernacles over the face of the earth. Ye shall be reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. Thus went forth the decree of the Almighty, and with it the force of his power. Lucifer and many of the host of heaven were cast down. The whole realm was thrilled with the power of God. The celestial elements were stirred to their depths. Heaven wept over the fallen spirits, and the cry went out, Lo, lo, he is fallen, even the son of the morning. All right, so now I'm at 3, but I'm going to stop there. I did pretty good. So I'm on the bottom of page 20. Cool. Okay, well, so what did you guys get out of that? Remember, it is a story, but it is also truth. Fiction and truth mixed together, I guess. In other words, the people, the names of the people, their parts. That is fictional. So that'll be exciting. Maybe I can, tomorrow's going to be busy, but maybe I can still read some more tomorrow. I go to the doctor. I go to the cancer center to get a treatment. I don't see my doctor tomorrow. And I was supposed to get blood work done today. I don't know if she quit doing that on purpose or if it was an oversight, because she told me before there is a standing order for me to go and get my blood work done before I go in. I do that 2 days before I go in for treatments. So I got to remember to call them in the morning. I might have to go in earlier to get labs done so they'll know, because they have to read my numbers. So for one time before, they said that the numbers they had from the previous time was good enough. So we'll see what they have to say tomorrow. Anyway, I'm making hanging towel holders and reading a great fictional book. How many pages are there in this book? The last page, 228. Anyway, it'll be Ruby Grapes. So I'm going to say bye. I'm going to go and put a treatment on my face, and then I got to let it sit there for a little bit, and then I'm going to wash it off, and then I'm going to put an eye drop in my eye. I have forgotten the last 2 nights in a row. I'm supposed to be putting eye drops in my left eye. One drop every night before I go to bed. But I have forgotten. That's not good. I promise to do better. Everybody, don't forget your prayers. I mean, sometimes I do. Sometimes I feel like I shouldn't be. In other words, I know God knows what I need, what I want. And I don't want to feel like I'm begging. You know? If I say the same prayer over and over and over again, it seems like I'm begging. So, we just want to make sure He knows we're thankful. And what we need to do is start counting our blessings. Even though we might feel like we don't have any. We do. And if you look around, there's always someone who's got life worse than you do. So you can be grateful for that. I am grateful for my family that I grew up with. We came from North Carolina. Some might say we came from the sticks. Whatever. My mom and dad, I'm their eldest child, and they got married when they were 16 and 17. So I was raised by young things, and young things just don't got it all together. Because we're learning. Sometimes children get upset with their parents because they treat their grandchildren better. Well, it's not because they chose to do that. It's just because they know better by now. Anyway, you guys take care. And I'll be back tomorrow. My appointment is not until the afternoon. And I do need to take care of some other business. And I'm going to sew some more. And I need to sew on that quilt. So I've got my head going every which way. I got a quilt that I am going to be making for Charlie. But it'll be like a grandmother and granddaughter. Because I had a lot of squares left over from when I did my daughter's quilt. They already got the backing on, not the backing, but they've got the padding. That would be the word, right? Batting. Quilt batting. Okay, so it's got the front and it's got the batting sewn together, but not the backing. But I had quite a few left over, and I don't know if I don't think I put that video on here, but I did take a little video. And see, Jessie just wanted hers haphazard. She didn't want a design. And so I took what was left, I dug them out of the drawer, and I started playing with them. And so I put together a quilt that has a design, but with the same squares that was in Jessica's quilt. So they're the same, but not. One's haphazard and one is going to have a design. And I think it will be really cute. Grandma and grandchild having a quilt that kind of matches but doesn't. And great-grandma will have made it. So I am excited to get back onto that. I kind of lost hope because I wasn't real thrilled with a quilt that I had made. And it's a quilt top. And then I've got Kevin's quilt top done. It's helper Jessie thinks that I should make it bigger so that 2 people can cuddle underneath it. And you know, that's kind of a deal. So I don't know what I'm doing. I just got it folded up and put in a drawer. And then I've got some squares I need to pull together and see if I can at least add a couple more rows, you know, 1 to each side. Maybe not to the top and the bottom, but to the sides, so that 2 people can fit under there. Because it is true, most of my grandchildren are adults. Shea Bear, she's 16. But she's the size of an adult. But anyway. So as far as the quilts go, I got Shay's done. And Jessica's done. They were quilt as you go. I got them done and trimmed. Then I had 2 quilts that I did before I did those. So I've got those done. So that would be 4. And then I've got 2 quilt tops. However, Tyler's quilt top is not to his liking, and I don't necessarily like it, and Jessica doesn't like it, so I'm not going to try and fix it. I'm just going to start over for him. And so I will be selling or sharing that quilt. And really, I had some good compliments on it. This was a comment. That's dope as shit. I would never say that. But it was, I know it was a compliment. So I'm just sorry. Sorry that I said that. But I was repeating what someone else said. Nevertheless, it is pretty cool. It really is. And it looks like it's got a white cross, an iron cross. It looks like it's got a white cross in the top part. Like, he just wants a throw type of thing. He doesn't want a quilt for the whole bed and for sharing with another person. He just wants his very own quilt. So it's longer than it is wide. I'm not sure how, I think his might be 4 feet wide and 6 feet long, or 6'6" long. That's what it is. But anyway, I need to add at least, I don't know, because the person that's probably going to get that quilt would like it to be wider too. They want to cover the bed. And that really is the best. And what I would suggest, you know, is that they have a bedspread and then put the quilt on top for dressing. So I'm not going to make it to where it goes down to the floor. But they are pretty. Kevin's quilt top is beautiful. And I did buy him a black king-size sheet for the back, so I am able to go wider for him, and it is gorgeous. He should remember me all the days of his life, even if it's just for that quilt. It's the one that's royal blue, and it's not really a baby blue, but we call it that, okay, because I asked for his colors, and the first ones he gave me was royal blue and baby blue. Then I asked for more colors, and he gave me gray and black. So it's got royal blue and baby blue, and then it's got a print that's got a flower in it that's shades of blue and white. And then black. I think that's all. 4 colors, and then the back is going to be black. It's going to be lovely. So, we shall just see. I was excited to go to the Dollar Tree today and get some towels and come home and make some more hanging towels. And I'm going to do that. I'm not sure what'll be happening come springtime, if they have a little fair where you can go out and sell your wares, you know. Otherwise, I'm going to be putting it on Facebook. Probably should put it on Facebook for the local people that can come pick it up. But I do think it's pretty. So there's this one that I already had done. And they'll look a lot better when they've been washed, probably. But nevertheless, bake it till you make it. Bake it till you bake it. No, bake it till you make it. I have 4 of these. I need to take pictures and put a little storefront. So then there's the towel. This will have a button, and this will go over the button, and then it will hang over an oven door. And then here's the same towel, except for with blue on the top. Blue. And there'll be a button, and then that'll fold over. But isn't that pretty? I love it. I love it. I love it. I think they look gorgeous. I will think about the price later. I'm just going to continue to make, and when I find something cute, I'm going to start making a bunch of them and try to keep track of what it should cost. But really, if I can put it on Facebook Marketplace, or I think that might be the best thing to do. I'll try Facebook Marketplace. I wouldn't mind having a little store, just not sure how to go about doing that. You know, an online store, like I used to do. I only did it for one Christmas. I got carried away, made a bunch of gift sets and stuff, put it on there for sale. And it was cool. But that was so long ago. So I got to learn all over again. I don't want to do it. So I thought maybe I might just do it on my channel. I just don't know. But Facebook Marketplace might be the ticket. But I will put it down in my post too. I'll take some pictures and put in there. And actually, I took a little video earlier. I'll have to see if I can't do that. But I need to get the buttons. I need to get buttons so I can finish them. So anyway, you guys take care. I was going to say a little prayer, but maybe I'll do it for you. Our Father in heaven, we are so thankful for this life and for our many blessings. Please help us to be able to see our blessings. Help thou my belief. It comes from one of those parables where the guy, his son, his son is all, he's got a bad spirit in him, and he's a mess, and he's got some, I don't know if it's a bad spirit or a disease or whatever, because it could have been an unclean spirit. But the man said, if you can do it, or if you can, I don't know what it was he said. And Jesus said to him, if thou canst believe, if you can believe, I can help you. And then the man says, I believe. But Jesus knows that he does not. And the man says to Jesus, help thou my unbelief. Something like that. Help me to believe is the deal. Help us in this life that we have been given, that we will try to do the right thing, always. And try not to hurt others. Heavenly Father, please help us to take care of ourselves and to sleep well. I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. I need help with those things. Those are part of my prayer. Help me to get a good night's rest, because I don't sleep well. And for our health to be good, we need to have some sleep. And I never really realized how important sleep is. So here I am. I'm a person that doesn't like to go to bed. And I don't like to take naps. I have found myself sleeping late because I haven't been going to bed. I've been in bed, but not going to sleep until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So sometimes I just get really frustrated because I'm laying there wasting time. Laying there trying to go to sleep and can't, when I could be doing something. Like talking to you guys. Anyway, take care. I'm going to go get ready for bed. And I am just dying of heat. I wonder what they got that heater on. Anyway, you guys take care. Bye.